Hey, I'm Alex, and in this video, I'm going to tell you how I became one of the richest people on Earth, even though I was only a stupid teenager. It all started with me being obsessed about history and archaeology. By the time I was 12, I had probably read more than 100 books on those topics. So you can imagine how excited I was when my dad gave me a metal detector for Christmas. I immediately grabbed a shovel and ran into our forest here in Poland. It took me less than 4 hours to dig up my first treasure. It was a rusted machine gun from the Second World War. After I did some research, I learned that it was a PPD-40 and used by the Soviet Union during World War II. Of course, my mom was shocked when I showed it to her, but my dad laughed and said it was cool, and he encouraged me to continue my hobby. Well, that's exactly what I did for the next few years. Whenever I had free time, I would wander through our beautiful forest searching for new treasures. And after a year, I had my first big discovery. It was a very old helmet. I immediately took it to a museum in our city for an inspection. When they saw it, their eyes lit up. But then they took the helmet away from me and said that archaeological treasures found in Poland belonged to the state. To be honest, I'm not sure if what they said was true, but I felt like they had stolen my helmet from me. That day, I swore to myself that the next time I found a treasure, I would keep it to myself and sell it on the black market. Because, as I later found out, the helmet I had found was worth at least $20,000 US. It was a Roman auxiliary helmet in a really good condition. And recently, a similar helmet was sold for $300,000 USD. So you can imagine how angry I was, especially because the helmet was never displayed in that museum. Which means they had probably sold my helmet on the black market to get rich themselves. For the next few years, I had little to no luck. I mean, yeah, I found hundreds of grenades and rusty machine guns, but none of them had any value. It was 2 days after my 15th birthday when my metal detector started beeping like crazy. And it wasn't just beeping at one point, but it was beeping over an area of at least 2 square meters. I wasn't sure what was laying under me, but I knew it was something very big. So I took my shovel and started digging. I remember hitting against something. At first, I was scared. It could have been a mine, but I could feel that it wasn't metallic. After a few more seconds of digging, I realized that it was a big pot. It was very big and heavy and kinda ugly. But why was my metal detector been beeping if there wasn't any metal? It took me a few seconds to realize that something was inside the pot. So I started pulling the dirt out of the opening of the pot. It didn't take long until I saw something golden. And trust me, I had waited years to find something golden. It were coins. Lots of coins. Too many coins for me to carry. I looked around to see if someone had followed me or seen my treasure, but no one was there. So I took 1 coin with me and put the rest back into the hole and filled it with dirt again. When I arrived home, I immediately showed my dad the gold coin I'd found. I told him there were many more, and a big smile appeared on his face. He asked, "How many?" And I said, "More than I could count." We decided to go back the following morning. But this time I realized that it wasn't just 1 pot full of gold coins, but that there were several pots under the ground, right next to each other. It were 7 big pots in total. After we had brought all of them to our home, we counted a little more than 10,000 gold coins. We had no idea how much they were worth, but we definitely knew we were rich. However, I made one big mistake. I should have never asked my dad for help. He turned out to be a selfish monster. Because the next morning when I woke up to take another look at my treasure, it was gone. I immediately asked my dad where the coins had gone, and he told me he had taken them away so I wouldn't spend them on stupid stuff. I got angry and told him those were my coins, and he had no right to take them away from me. When I offered him to share the coins 50-50, he started laughing and said, "I have raised you and I have bought you your metal detector. Therefore, those coins belong to me. Be a good boy and I will give you a few of them someday." Oh, I wanted to attack him right then and there. But that wouldn't have helped me find my coins either. No, I needed to find out where my dad had hidden them. I knew the only way my dad could have transported them was by using his car. That's why I asked several store owners in our city if I could take a look at their security cameras that were facing to the street. I told them someone had stolen my dad's car, and we were trying to find out where the thief had driven it. Everyone wanted to help and gave me access to their security camera footage. From there, it was easy to follow where my dad had driven his red Honda. Once I knew the district my dad had gone to, it immediately clicked. He had gone to my aunt. I called her up and asked if my dad had recently visited her. She said, "Yeah, he came in here at 5 a.m. in the morning. He said he needed to store a few boxes in my basement." Jackpot! I immediately visited my aunt and told her my dad wanted me to pick up his boxes again. Then I ordered a taxi and brought the coins into a cheap hotel. I took one coin with me and went to a pawn shop. I asked how much it was worth, and the guy looked shocked. He asked me who had given it to me. But I knew it was better to not give him any information, so instead I asked him again, "How much will you pay me for it?" He took a closer look and told me it was a Roman gold coin and in perfect condition. When he said he was willing to pay $15,000 for this single coin, I almost fainted. But I tried to stay cool, even though I had 10,000 more of these coins laying around in my cheap hotel. What if someone broke into my room and stole them from me? I took the $15,000 and ran back to my hotel. Luckily, my coins were still there. I immediately ordered a taxi and drove to Warsaw, the capital of Poland. There, I checked into a luxury hotel where I was safe from my dad and thieves. All that happened a few years ago, and I haven't seen my dad since. I've sold all my 10,000 coins for a total of $50 million to several private collectors. And I even found a legal loophole so I wouldn't have to pay any taxes. Today, I'm 18 and living on Ibiza. I'm mostly partying and having fun. But I also offered my mom to leave my dad and start a new life with me. However, she said she wouldn't leave my dad because she loved him too much. Well, I'm sorry, but that's her problem. As long as she lives with my dad.
I'm Mark, and I've always been really smart. That's why school was boring. It was just too easy for me. For example, I never paid attention in class. Instead, I scrolled through my textbook right before a test, and that was enough for me to get straight A's in all my exams. Of course, that sounds great, because who wouldn't want to get easy A's? But there were plenty of moments when I wished I was like everyone else. For example, I never had any friends, because I skipped 6 grades and all my classmates were much older than me. At the same time, I didn't have much in common with kids my own age. Some teachers let me read novels during class, but most of them wanted me to pay attention, even though I knew more about the subject than they did. And they hated it when I corrected them. Everyone always congratulated me on my grades, even though I never worked for them. I liked hearing how great I was, but it would have been better if my teachers had pushed me harder, because I never developed any discipline. When I graduated high school at 12, I could have gone straight to college, but instead I took 2 years off and played video games. Eventually, my parents forced me to go to college, and I chose math as my major. I was still only 14 though, so again, I had no friends. To make things worse, I skipped most of my lectures, because it was easier to read my math textbook on the day before the exam than to listen to the lectures of my professors. So instead of working hard and developing self-discipline, I spent most of my time playing video games. However, I still got 95 to 100% of points each exam. When I graduated valedictorian, I almost felt ashamed of myself, because even though I had a brilliant academic record, I had never put any effort into my studies. I was just lucky I was born smart. And because I've never worked hard in my life, I'm one of the laziest people on this planet. After I graduated university, I thought about becoming a mathematician, but I couldn't be bothered to go through all the interviews. So I moved back home and started gaming again. However, after a few years, my parents got sick of me doing nothing, so they threw me out. Suddenly, I was forced to get a job, and I decided to teach myself programming. I quickly passed an online programming course, and that was enough to get me a job at a tech firm. But I hate it. I'm supposed to work 8 hours a day, but I spend most of my time watching YouTube and surfing the net. I do just enough to hit my targets so I don't get fired, but it's so boring. Even though I make okay money, I know I've let my wife and my whole family down. I had huge potential, and I threw it all away because I never learned the importance of hard work. I mean, I could have discovered a life-saving drug, climbed the corporate ladder, or built my own business. But instead, I was lazy, and now the people I went to college with are all more successful than me. Even though I'm more intelligent. I feel like I wasted my life. I constantly look at my friends with envy, and I hate it when they post about their latest promotion of their amazing career. I could have done anything with my life if I'd only worked harder. Because if you're born intelligent, you've been given a big advantage. But that doesn't mean a thing if you don't use it. If you're lazy like me, you still won't be successful. Because if you want to achieve something great, at some point, you'll have to work hard for it. I've been thinking about setting up my own programming company, but I'm intimidated by the amount of work involved. Instead, I have to put up with my manager, Fred. He's a nice guy, but totally incompetent and drives me nuts. His decisions make no sense, and he never listens to my advice. But then, I guess, I'd be an even worse manager than him, because I'd never get anything done. Today, I live a life of regret and resentment, and it's all my fault. Thank you for listening.
Chris and I were best friends since first grade, but only when I hit puberty did I start to have feelings for him. He was very handsome after all. And because I was too shy to confess my love, I gave him hidden signals. One time I went to his house wearing a super short miniskirt, long socks, and a belly-free top. I probably looked stupid with the red lipstick, but I wanted to see if he liked me. We played Xbox together, but he didn't check me out once. So I went one step further and said, maybe you can beat me in the game, but in real life, I'd beat you up easily. Prove it. I took his finger and I bent it as much as I could. He immediately fell on his knees in front of me, so I said, okay, tell me a few secrets. Who in the class do you have a crush on? I won't tell you that. You must. Okay, I really like Stacy. His words crushed me. What did Stacy have that I didn't? I said, oh yeah, she's beautiful, but I had to fight back tears. Can you help me get a date with her? Maybe ask her if she likes me? Sure, I can do that. Hey Stacy, what do you think of Chris? Oh, he's pretty handsome, but out of your league. Oh, thank you for the compliment, but would you like to go on a date with him? How about Saturday? Oh, I would love to do that. And that's how I made them a couple. From the outside, they looked perfect. Both stunningly handsome, but I knew Stacy was a horrible person. She always exploited her classmate Lisa. She told her, do my homework and you can hang out with me and my friends. But when they met up, they would only make fun of her. And one time she made Lisa give her a cheat sheet during a math exam. The teacher noticed it and both got an F. Stacy was furious and blamed Lisa for it, calling her an idiot. She started crying and I asked, are you okay? I worked so hard for the exam. This is not fair. Just stop being friends with Stacy. She's exploiting you. The same day Chris and I were hanging out when Stacy joined us. What is she doing here? Oh, she's my friend. Can you bring me some cornflakes? I'm really hungry. Chris left the room and Stacy said, listen, this was the last time you two met up. He's my boyfriend now and there's no place for you. I responded, Chris would never break up our friendship. But boy, was I wrong about that. Next time I wrote Chris, he replied, sorry, I'm busy. And when I saw him at school, he pretended I didn't exist. After 3 months, I had enough and pulled him to the side. Hey, long time since we talked. Yeah, I'm sorry. Stacy easily gets jealous. Well, I'm worried that you isolate yourself. You can't lose all your friends over a girl. You don't understand. I love her. Chris told me that you wanted to split us up. Yes, because he deserves better than you. She pulled my hair, so I gave her a good slap. Oh, how dare you? You will regret this badly. I wasn't scared, but when I sat down in class, my chair broke. Stacy must have loosened a screw. She screamed, oh my God, she's so fat that the chair broke. It was the most embarrassing moment of my life, and all I could think of was revenge. I went home, put on the sexiest clothes I had. Of course, I was looking like a tramp, but it was necessary. I went over to Chris and knocked on his window. He shook his head, not allowing me inside. But I picked up a rock and threatened to smash the glass. I went over to Chris and knocked on his window. He shook his head, not allowing me inside. But I picked up a rock and threatened to smash the glass. He let me in and I said, stop dating that witch. Whoa, calm down. No, I won't. What can I do to split you up? Nothing. I love her. Why don't you love me instead? What does she have that I don't? Are you jealous? No, I just hate her. I will kiss you right here if you break up with her. No, I will do anything you like, no matter how dirty. Finally, he looked me in the eyes. Do you love me? Of course I love you, ever since we were kids. He looked baffled, and I used my chance to step ahead and kiss him. Then he threw me on his bed, and we made out for hours. It was so goddamn good. When he went to the bathroom, I took a photo of me in his room only wearing underwear. I couldn't wait to show it to Stacy. But then Chris came back. So, will you break up with her? I don't know. Maybe I love both of you. But we've known each other forever. Please choose me. You owe it to me. No, I can't break her heart. Us two was a one-time mistake. Get out of here now. You've caused enough damage. I was devastated, but at least I had the photo. I showed it to Stacy the next day, and she got so angry that she started pulling my hair again. This time we fought until a teacher broke us up. But Chris and Stacy are still dating today. He says he never kissed me and claims that I must have broken into his house to take the photo.